Hey guys.
Losers, losers! Kiss my big Springfield behind Shelbyville! Woo! Ha ha! I am.
Okay, like I promised, I'm gonna talk about Invincible. Now, Invincible is the story about Mark Grayson, who learns that his father is like the greatest superhero of the world, and he himself also learns that he has also powers, So it's like this hero's journey of him training and becoming a superhero, but this isn't just it, It's like surface level. I'd never read the comics, so it's in a total new surprise for it, I didn't know what I was expecting, and honestly, that might be the best thing, because like the show has a lot of shock factor, and stuff like that. Like you won't expect the level of violence just based on like the art style and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, I can say that I really, really liked it, because there's just so many elements into play, there's an overarching, interesting story that you slowly have to picture for yourself, the animation is great, there's sometimes the 2D animation mixed with 3D animation because 3D animation is cheaper, especially when you have to animate larger crowds, but sometimes it doesn't look good when you compare it to the background, You have this 2D background and then 3D animation doesn't always match well, and Invincible, it's the same. There's this one scene in a second or third episode with this giant alien army, and it's just 3D animation on a 2D background, and it doesn't look good, But aside from that, there aren't really animation errors or wrong colors. It's everything very high production, and for good reason. The voice work is also incredible, especially by J.K. Simmons, who you might remember from his role as J. Jonah Jameson in the old Spider-Man movies. Like J.K. Simmons is great. There are also a lot of actors from The Walking Dead voicing characters, because Invincible is also from Robert Kirkman, and that name should have made me very aware of what's coming to me, but I still went with it with a blind eye. My only experience with Invincible before the series was that I got the first issue on comic book day, and the first issue doesn't really tell you much, because it's just like set up, Then there are a bunch of changes made to the source material to just modernize it. It's a similar case to American Gods, where they changed the personification of the internet to be like this hipster kid instead of a basement dweller. Yeah, you find those changes all around Invincible, but it doesn't really affect the story that much, Some events are shifted or taken straight up from the comics, but it's placed earlier than before. And I can overall say, because it's a little bit more lighthearted and less cynical, for example, The Boys, in its critique. You get to see a lot of similar things you might remember from Justice League or the Avengers, but it's changed in a way that it's fun, that it's new, that it's interesting, and like I said, it's not that cynical, but also provides some valid critique. But aside from that, the story still stands on its own legs, because it presents something unique. I've said unique so many times, but it's really, really true, That's how I feel. I can't tell you too much about the story because I want you to check it out for yourself. I've watched it, you can find it on Amazon Prime or elsewhere. I'm sure about that. And just be aware that the violence is very graphic in detail, very gory, and that's just because of Robert Kirkman, who is also responsible for The Walking Dead, you know. But like it comes from Image Comics, and Image Comics has always been like this big alternative to normal superhero comics, you know. In Image you find stuff like Spawn or Invincible, you know. A lot of creative stuff, more creative and more free than, let's say, Marvel or DC, you know, in what it presents. There are some comic books that I hope get an adaptation similar to Invincible. And by the way of how the show looks, there's definitely a season 2 coming. I am ready for it, you know. Like, I enjoyed the first season so much. It's probably one of the best superhero products this year in terms of entertainment television. I enjoyed it more than WandaVision or Superman and Lois or The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, now I won't go too much into detail of the characters, you know, but like Mark, he's fairly average, you know, he's kind of this. It's very clear that he's based on Spider-Man Peter Parker, you know, but stands as his own character who has his own struggle, you know, because he's very, very powerful. Not yet, not fully, but he has to grapple with that fact, you know, and also stuff relating to his dad, you know, because his dad might not be the best guy, but I won't say much more than that. The other superhero characters are also fun to explore, you know. You've got Adam Eve, who can, like, manipulate reality and shift matter, and you got Triplicate, and like it's, I said also too many times, like, but fuck it. It's also interesting to see the journey of the other heroes, you know, who have to replace the Guardians as new Guardians. What happens to the old Guardians, I won't say, but it's interesting to see those new characters struggling, you know. It's a very human story packed in a superhero story, and that's what I like the most, you know, when human stories are packaged as a superhuman story, and it's not necessarily about the superhero himself. Anyway, I think this is going to be it for this March, and maybe there's another video coming. I don't know. This is actually the second time I'm recording this video because I didn't like the first audio. And yeah, we'll see us in the next one. I don't know what it's gonna be about, but maybe I'm also gonna take a break and come back in like June. Let's see how entertainment is this year, and if there's something worthy for me to talk about.
Now get the fuck out of my driveway.